It's finally time that we take it way back to the early 2000s to look at the time when LEGO decided to do an anime mecha theme. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Robethematoran channel, and today we're taking a departure from the Bionicle reviews and starting with a brand new early 2000s LEGO theme, and that is Exo-Force, starting off with set number 7700 Stealth Hunter. Contains 164 pieces and only one single minifig. It's early 2000s, so you're not getting a whole array of minifigs, so it's just the one. I remember being an Exo-Force fan for many years. I remember seeing this set in particular in the LEGO catalogs way back in the day of 2005 and '06, seeing this set, and I remember wanting it for so long, and unfortunately I never got it. But today that finally changes because I obviously have it now in my collection, and I think it's about time for me to branch out from doing Bionicle stuff and actually doing Exo-Force or other LEGO themes. Exo-Force just happens to be the first thing I decided to do because I really wanted to get these sets again. I say again, but I only had a handful, and it was not any of like the the recognizable iconic ones. It was pretty the small ones and stuff, so not anything special. Looking at the box in the top right corner, we get our main character of this set, which is Hikaru. He's one of the four main characters of the Exo-Force theme, so he's our titular character. I kind of associate him with being the main character of the entire series because you see him kind of like in the promotional art and a lot of the stuff, so he's kind of like the main character I kind of think of him as. So on the side of the box, it's pretty generic. It's just a black box with just the Exo-Force logo and a really small image of the main box art that you see on the front of the box. Now, on the back of the box, where things get really interesting, you just get this really cool action shot of all the sets of this wave just charging at each other, and a little bit up the box, you get to see a combiner set of both the Stealth Hunter and the very next set I'm going to review, which is the Grand Titan set, and it's actually pretty cool. Let me know in the comments if you actually want to see me review the combiner sets of Exo-Force. I'm really thinking about doing that, but I'm not sure if I want to do it. I want to, but then I don't. I don't know. Just let me know in the comments. Flipping this box around back to the front, and it has this really cool flip part of the box, which I never knew that it had until honestly just getting this set for the first time. And it has this really cool comic at the top of the the flap of the box, and then it's this really cool little comic strip. It's very basic, it's very simple, it's nothing fancy on that, but looking down it actually has this kind of like another showing of the Stealth Hunter and telling you all the features and weapons and stuff it has, and it's really cool stuff. Like, honestly, this is really cool. This is why I wanted to get them brand new, or at least get them with the boxes, because I really wanted to show this off, because I feel like you would really get that if I was just explaining it to you and you didn't even get to see it. Checking on outside the box, we get 3 bags that are not numbered, get an instruction manual, pretty basic, whatever this thing is. And oh my dearie, look at all these stickers. Holy crap, that is a lot of stickers. If you are new to Exo-Force and you don't know about this, you're in for a treat. So all these sets, all the sets have stickers, and even the cheapest sets have over like 10 stickers, not even a joke. It's crazy how many stickers they have. This is a $15 set, and it has literally over like 20 something stickers. That's insane. I wasn't initially going to add this, but it had this really cool classic little pamphlet to join the LEGO Club and get the cool magazines, and I just felt so nostalgic seeing it, so I just had to throw this in. This is such a really cool thing to have in here. Probably useless, but it's still really cool to see it. Now with that out of the way, we finally have the Stealth Hunter fully built and complete, fully stickered, and that was a Herculean effort, I do say so myself. It was quite the troubling thing considering all the stickers were clear, so fun times with that. Anywho, now the Stealth Hunter itself, it's a really cool looking set. Like, despite being from 2006, it still holds up relatively well. Like, comparing it to other mechs in more recent times and more recent years, yeah, it's a bit dated, you can tell, but honestly, it still looks really good, and it has a great color scheme because, it's just simple white, because that's the main thing. It's white little like accents of blue, but mainly white and gray and a little bit of red. But a consistent color scheme, it's really cool to see, and it has great articulation. Like it's pretty standard articulation, just your arms, legs, knees, even a little bit of feet, and it doesn't technically has hands. It just has its weapons, just the gun and the blade, but it still has some articulation in the arms at least, and you can move around the weapons a little bit, just a little bit, but it's pretty cool, and it's a really nice looking build. It's a bit bulky and a little kind of awkward at some angles, but when you look at it from other angles or look at it like dead on like front, it actually looks pretty good. Now, looking at it in the back, it's definitely not the most desirable spot to look at it at, because definitely you're intended to look at it in the front, because looking in the back, you just see all the gray, joints from, I think, Galador, I think all these joints are from. So they're very ratchety, very clickety clackety sounds with it, and it's a bit, it looks a little weird in the back, but in the front, it looks great. But yeah, it just in the back it just doesn't look all too pleasing for the most part. It doesn't. There's no back armor or anything. It's kind of has the same problem with Bionicle with a lot of sets. It just doesn't really look very well built in the back. I mean, it's fine for what it is, but there's just nothing back there. Now, looking a bit more closely at, I would say, like the shins, which honestly that is like my favorite part. I think the pieces for the shins are, I don't know if they're new for this, I don't know, but I just really like them. I like the big shins, and it has the stickers on it. It looks so cool. Like that's like my favorite part. I don't know why, but the shins are really cool, and it has these fins sticking out. And I forgot to say that yes, I'm about to say Takashi's, Hikaru's mech is a flying one. That's why it's a little thin. It's a bit smaller, and that has the wings flaring out. If you couldn't tell, it could fly. Not all the mechs can fly. This is the only one that can fly, especially for this first wave. Well, actually, it's another one. It's the Fire Vulture. I believe that's another one that can fly because it has a big, huge rotating fan. But this one is the only good guy one that can fly, because the bad guys actually get two vehicles that can fly, but or battle machines, whatever you want to call them. But yeah, so it's a really nice looking. I just like the shins. The feet are a little. It's a bit flat. It's a bit basic because it's just kind of essentially just one piece, just with a sticker on it. It's kind of generic, but it's not too bad. Moving further up the mech, we finally get to the main cockpit, and we get to see the arms and the clear long tube for the light brick, which I will have to say it does not work. Unfortunately, when you press the little lever in the back, it sadly does not work. And even in its prime, it didn't work very well, and especially now after nearly 20 years later, it does not work. Like I can see it slightly lighting up, but it doesn't work very well. Honestly, I never really seen it work fully well in its full capacity anyway. It was just the promotional art and the box art and stuff that always showed it working like, oh, it's like the best thing ever. It lights up the whole thing. It looks really cool. Like I never seen that look like that. So honestly, it was little misleading, but whatever. We're not gonna talk about that. And the other feature it has is you can press this little button thing at the top. It's just an axle, and you press it, and that really shoots out the power brick. And in case you didn't know, the power brick is essentially the main power of the battle machines, and that's how they operate. But considering this one doesn't even work, I don't even know how this thing is even functioning. But regardless of real world issues of how the piece no longer works, because literally the battery wasn't really that good, it doesn't work. So that is unfortunately a con for me on that. But other than that, it still looks really cool. And even though I would say the tube is a bit restricting, it is a bit restricting, because it kind of inhibits him from moving the left arm, to actually move proper, because you got it sticking in there, and it goes long and it's flexible enough, but it's a little awkward, but it's not the worst. And he has these flare things at the top of his mech, and it's like basically kind of like, you could say it's like butterfly wings. It looks like he can fly, like it's supposed to kind of help him fly, or at least glide a little bit better, a little aerodynamic right there. But looks really cool, and the cockpit has a lot of stickers. That was actually probably the hardest ones to put on because it was really awkward to put those stickers on the side of the cockpit, but it's still really cool. And now finally it is time to look at our singular minifig, and that is Hikaru. And there is a lot to like here, despite there not being a lot of detail on him, like no torso. There's torso printing, but there's no back printing, no arm printing, no leg printing, no waist printing, no toe printing. There's like nothing. This is early 2000s Lego. They did not put a lot of detail on the minifigs, but still, I still like it. Kind of reminds me of a Stormtrooper a little bit, just because of the white and black, but just the little blue harness thing he has is the only thing that really looks different. But other than that, he has this crazy cool looking hairpiece. This is the coolest hairpiece. I swear, I always wanted this as a kid, and it is the Nightwing's hairpiece from the Lego Batman theme, just in like light electric blue. It's really cool. And switching up the face, because this is actually pretty much the Lego theme that really convinced Lego to actually do two faces. They did it before, but this was, I feel like, the theme that really convinced them to do it. And holy crap, look at that face. It is really anime-esque with that face. He is really angry. I can almost hear the battle cry, or just, you know, the anime noises of them, you know, in battle. It's so crazy, but I love it so much. It is such a cool face to have. And honestly, it's a lot better to have this face showing than the other one, because when you look at the back of it, unfortunately the mouth does show because the hairpiece doesn't fully cover the mouth, and it's really awkward looking. You just see teeth at the back of his head, and it's really disturbing looking. So honestly, you do better just having him in the angry face all the time, because the hairpiece actually covered the other face. I don't know what's with that. It's just kind of bad printing, but other than that, great minifig. In conclusion, the Stealth Hunter is a really good Exo-Force set. This is a good starter pack set. I recommend anyone honestly picking this set up like now. Just, I say, as a first Exo-Force set to get, definitely this one. Like you can get the smaller ones if you're a bit on a budget and you want just a cheaper one, because they are cheaper, but not by much if you get them used. Like if you get this set used, you're paying about the same price it would cost to get the other sets, the smaller sets, you know, around that same price range. So kind of, you know, depends how you want it. Honestly, obviously this is the way better set, so definitely get this set, you know, before anything else, because it's really cool to have. And the score I give it a, I want to say probably a 7-1. Like, it's really good, but there is a lot to be desired also, because there's this, it is a bit restrictive and it's a bit primitive compared to modern mechs, so it's definitely some improvement need to be done. And I feel like later mechs, honestly, in Exo-Force is a lot better. Not saying this one's bad. This is really cool. I really like this one. This is almost this is definitely my top 5 favorites. So this is still a really good one. It's just the other ones are better. But again, 7-1, that is my score for this set. Let me know what you all think of this in the comments below, where you give the score or whatever. I love to hear every single comment, because I read every single comment. And join me next time when I look at the big red one, the Grand Titan. Can't wait to look for that one. I'm really excited for that one. So stay tuned. Hope you all enjoyed. Please like and subscribe, and I will bid you all adieu.